Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking a manga review. Yes, we have another volume of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 6, Monster Fight. Yes, it is of course by Kazuki Takahashi, was originally published in Shonen Jump and then collected in its own graphic novels, and this one is actually pretty cool. We're actually closing in on the end of the original run. First up, there's a game that's so popular that all the characters for it are like really rare and everyone wants their hands on it. Grandpa's shop is making a ton of money on it. Yugi and Joey enjoy it, and it's basically just Rock'em Sock'em robots, but instead of being pretty much the two same robots but different colors, there's different robots that have different bodies and abilities, and it takes a lot more skill, allegedly. It doesn't look like it does, but it seems to. And sweet, naive little Yugi, of course, gets his stolen by a guy who cheats and takes him and sells him on the street to make a quick buck. But then, of course, Yami Yugi challenges him to a shadow game version of it, you know, where you take the same damage that your little Rock'em Sock'em robot that's not really a Rock'em Sock'em robot takes. It's pretty cool. And of course, the guy cheats, which makes him lose the shadow game. That's just how it is, right? Whenever you cheat in a shadow game, you basically always lose. Even your own monsters turn against you. Also, there's a bomber. There's a serial bomber, and he strikes at an amusement park, and this amusement park is kind of fan servicey. Just FYI. Just FYI. Anyway, some guy is flirting with Anzu, and she screams that he's a pervert, even though he didn't actually do anything perverted. She could have just turned him down. He didn't do anything really wrong yet. But she's trying to get to the second Yugi personality to come out, because that's the Yugi she kind of has a crush on. Eventually, her crush will kind of develop to a crush on both Yugis. But there's this like bomb squad at the theme park, and the bomb squad is like given this game by this crazed bomber, this serial killer. And of course, Yami Yugi is able to play what's basically like a four-of-a-kind matching game with the killer, and if he does it incorrectly, like boxes on the Ferris wheel will explode. And he also deduces the location of the bomber. That one was really cool. Really liked that one. Then we get into the evil dragon cards. There's like this old, more than antique, ancient card game that gets brought in to Yugi's grandfather's shop by this kid that they go to school with, and he wants to use it to become really powerful. It's like a really cursed dragon card game, which, to be honest, I couldn't completely follow. I didn't totally understand the game. He defeats regular Yugi, but not so lucky. He doesn't quite defeat Yami Yugi, and it kind of seems like this guy's soul is going to get devoured. The OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga had some pretty harsh punishments for shadow games. Pretty harsh punishments. The next one has yo-yos. You got Jonichi doing yo-yo tricks and stuff. You see people using yo-yos as weapons, which I think is what they originally were, actually. And of course, it's the old gang. This one's kind of cool. It almost... A lot of these are really JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, including this one, where Jonichi like just kind of takes the yo-yo blasts to save Yugi. A gang is literally trying to hang Yugi with his Millennium Puzzle. Isn't that insane? This gang is so whack. It's not their first run-in with them. They did try to extort Jonichi into joining their gang. And now they have to deal with Yami Yugi again, who electrocuted them last time. And now he outsmarts them in, once again, a very JoJo's Bizarre Adventure way by having them destroy a roof. And then Jonichi just really tough guy. Really tough guy. And then the Millennium Enemy, Ryo Bakura. The guy who would eventually become a big time villain at the end of this manga is kind of just a villain of the week. But Kaiba also started as a villain of the week and became Yugi's rival, you know? Bakura has a Millennium item. The Millennium Ring, or Millennium Pendant. It kind of just depends. Sometimes in this manga they'll call something one thing and then realize the show called it something else, or maybe the person in charge of Americanizing it decided on a better name and they change it. Because like in this, at one point you see Black Magician, but then later it becomes Dark Magician. Sometimes the names change. Sometimes I also just use the American anime name because that's what I'm familiar with and what most people are probably familiar with. But he loses consciousness when he plays games. He loves games, especially tabletop role-playing games. He'd love to make one day. And the game they play in this, Bakura has this huge custom game table. It's like a tabletop RPG. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons, but the game board is much more important. Like, you could technically play Dungeons and Dragons without a game board, but this is a game where you have to kind of have a board. It's a role-playing game. Yes, it's basically Dungeons and Dragons. But it's a big, beautiful board that he's built with lots of stuff inside it. And, of course, there's Duel Monster-esque creatures, and there's miniatures, little pewter miniatures. And you remember in the anime, they have a Duel Monsters game with Bakura, and he puts their souls in their favorite cards. This is actually what that's based on. I've read through all of Duelist Kingdom already, and I will be reviewing it. But all of that doesn't happen. That card game doesn't happen because it happens here in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. It's the finale. They get put into their TTRPG characters, which for some people is a blessing, for many is a curse, and he has a lot of humans trapped in these. It's a pretty wild game, and they have to battle Zork. You know Zork, the big bad from the end. There's also a Monster World battle game rules in the back of this book. So yeah, anyway, next up we will review the last volume of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And I'm very excited because I can't wait to get into Duelist. I'm almost done with Battle Kingdom. I'm in the Battle City semifinals right now. Yeah, I've read much farther ahead than I've reviewed, but that's just because I'm like addicted. It's really enjoyable. That's it. Thank you all once again. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links down below. We also sell Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and other collectibles in our physical and online stores. That's it. Thank you all once again. See you all next time. Bye for now.